Okay, so this interaction is very that's very important, and this is related to the significance and importance of research work or research publication. So I have interacted with Gurpreet Sodhi, who is who has done his PhD from IIT Guwahati in a very important domain, and after that he joined as postdoctorate fellow in Cranfield University, and presently he is there. So I requested him to delve more and inform us more on significance of research work. Let me put you this way. In BTech we do project, and doing project seriously is very important for getting career and options. So the project which we do in BTech, that project work, if we do seriously, can be published in the form of a research paper. There are so many journals, and we can do that. Similarly, MTech project which we do, that can also be published. PhD may we are to publish the papers. So there is a relation between having good research publication and career opportunities. I have observed over the period of time that as a BTech student who is having research paper, when he applies to some foreign universities or Indian top universities for direct PhD courses, then probability of getting admission is very high. The moment you drop a mail to professor saying that you have published your research work, then your credibility goes up. And we know the significance of having direct PhD admission abroad. That means you end up saving money, you get more scholarships, those kind of advantages. So yes, if you have done BTech project properly, we should publish it. Ironically, students think that publishing a paper is difficult. Actually, it is not. It is not difficult, but it becomes difficult because anything which you have not done before, it looks like difficult. So that path which you have not traveled, that path will always look like difficult. The moment you start traveling on that path, or somebody else tells you that, okay, this is a very simple path, I've traveled it, and let me take you and I'll show you this is a very simple path. So you show confidence and start walking along. So Gurpreet Sodhi is one such traveler who has traveled on the path of publishing many papers. I requested him to share his own journey and tell, is writing paper difficult, and if it is not difficult, how we can do that. So I'm very sure many of you who are looking for a very good career opportunities in the form of jobs in MNCs or placement or research organization jobs like ISRO, DRDO, BARC, or foreign universities with scholarship, they will get benefited from this. Spare some time, start publishing your research work which you have done. It will be very, very helpful, and it will be a really good star in your entire CV. So let's listen to what Gurpreet has to say, and I'm very sure this will be very, very helpful video for you. Okay, so Gurpreet, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Gurpreet, this is a very, very important session, and this session is related to the importance of having research papers or research publication in the career of technocrats or students. That what is the relevance of that for the various career opportunities, especially related to higher education and research. So before I proceed forward, Gurpreet, we want to know about you, what you are doing presently, where are you presently, and then we proceed forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me in this session. I am Gurpreet Singh, as you mentioned, and I am from Chandigarh. And now after I have done PhD in mechanical engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. And after that, I had applied for various postdoc positions, and fortunately now I'm in United Kingdom as a research fellow in one of the universities, Cranfield University. So so I started my journey, as you may know, from while studying at Engineer Career Point, preparing for the GATE exams, and right from the beginning, because I had prior experience of job for some few years, and from the beginning, it was to start exploring the PhD opportunities. So going on that path, completing my PhD, now I'm sitting here and working with the Cranfield University. And
okay.
Yes.
So what is your research area, Gurpreet? In which area you are working?
Yeah, so during my PhD, I was working on thermal energy storage. So it is one of the very booming fields because nowadays there are a lot of in India it's a developing technology, but it's quite a well developed technology in the West and in the European countries. So like the solar energy is available during the day, so you can extract it. But what about the night? So what is generally done is it is the energy, it is stored in particular materials during the daytime. Generally we call them as thermal batteries. And whenever it's basically stored in the form of heat, it's an alternative for a battery storage basically. So so it's stored in the form of heat, and later at night if you need that you can extract that energy during peak hours or whenever you need the heat. So basically it works in the range from 0 to 700 degrees C. Even it goes into the cryogenics or the negative temperature side. So based on your application you can plug in your storage systems, not only the solar energy, it's other ways of storing the energy as well. Yeah.
Okay, so Gurpreet, I'll be discussing with you in about your research area in a separate interaction, and it is going to take some time also, and I want that details so that it helps the students further. But this particular session is related to the relevance of research papers and research publication. Let me tell you what is the reason why I want your input into this. BTech BTech, MTech and PhD. So if I talk about BTech, then students, almost every student is doing some kind of a project during graduation. And in that project, he is having some problem and he's providing the solution to that and coming out with something, some output. Now, if that particular thing which he has done, if it could be published and if it is worth publishing and it could be published, I know there are benefits and advantages of that in the career later on, especially for higher education. Similarly, masters and also PhD. So as far as I know, till masters, if it is not MS, it is MTech in India. Till MTech, I mean, there is no compulsion to publish the paper. Even if you publish in BTech or masters, it does not affect your degree or something like that. But for MS and PhD, publishing paper is very important. And we have also seen that because students do not have proper knowledge, how to publish a paper, so they fear, though it is not difficult, they fear writing paper. And because of that, even PhD gets delayed by years. There are many of my students who keep telling that, sir, my PhD work is getting delayed because मेरा paper नहीं है. And the ironically, paper तब आएगा जब तुम्हारा काम हो चुका होगा और काम होने में time लगता है. So those kind of things we want to sort it out here. So I now start with the first question. What do you think is the relevance of Gurpreet having research paper? How it is linked with the career forward, research career forward? You please mention for BTech also, MTech and PhD also.
Yes, sir. So you rightly pointed out that journal paper is very important and generally the students fear it. So what is the main importance is that once you enter into the research field, even because when let's say the bachelor students, they are looking for a master's abroad, right? So we for now we know that we'll be working on a project for sure. So that is we are working on an academic project, and academic project is directly linked to publication. How I'll tell you. So basically during your BTech or your MTech or your PhD, throughout the scenario, this research is a very closed domain. So all of the people, all of the researchers from whole of the world in working in their different domains are connected together. So a paper will generally give you a representation in that community. So basically you can represent yourself with that work. So it's not only that we do some project and we leave it there. We forget the opportunity that we have. If we publish that paper, it gives you relevance till the very end. So I'll tell you from my personal experience, before I started PhD until date, when I'm doing postdoc, I had the opportunity to meet directly different people from different research domains as well, and my own research domain, and at different events. So every time they have told me the importance of publishing a paper till the time you get a job in this particular field. So it is extremely important for all to at least try, and if they have it early on during their bachelor's, it's a great thing. So it gives them directly a chance to get into a very good university.
So Gurpreet, I want to ask you, like we know there is something like direct PhD. In fact, you
Right.
have, if I'm not wrong, you have also done your direct PhD from IT Guwahati after your BTech.
Right.
Is it linked? I mean, your research work in BTech, if you have research publication in BTech, can we link it with the, more opportunities for getting direct PhD in foreign universities also?
Sir, frankly, to answer this question, I will say at the bachelor's level. So generally, even if you are applying to a new field, let's say you are not going into the same field, whatever
Mm,
you are doing,
mm,
and you had some bachelor's project, and the thing is like everybody, the researcher, he sees your particular interest in research, basically
mm,
in general, or the
mm,
methodology, how you follow research. So
mm,
first of all, it's not really important that if you want to do research in a particular domain, you need to have a background in that particular domain as a bachelor student.
mm,
So the thing is, because bachelor student, they barely know about their project in the last semester, and they are not very sure what they'll be working on.
mm,
So but it gives them again a great opportunity if they are going to work in the same domain. It gives them a great opportunity to present their work, to
mm.
convert their report into a publication, and it opens the door for them.
Perfect. Now, please tell me, Gurpreet, like master's level pay, when you are doing your masters and all, though it is not compulsory, it is not that compulsory for MTech and all. But what is the relevance of again this research paper? They are the level of masters. Though we know that most of the students, they want only job and placement. Say there is a
Right.
focus during campus. So why a student should think of publishing paper? What is the reason for
Right.
that?
Sir, ironically, if I tell you, for a job, we generally think that paper is not required, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I have during my PhD, I have two publications with the two master students. Both have gone into jobs.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, both were helped in their jobs. Why?
Okay.
So again, it's one domain is the jobs and one domain is the research. So in the
Okay.
job domain,
Mm,
when they're applying for a job in their own college, let's say a company comes for placement, if
mm,
they are able to, let's say, again, if they are from a thermal background and the
okay.
company is
Mm,
into a thermal background, so if
mm,
they have a research publication, they know that this guy has a hands-on on something. So
yes,
that
yes.
is always an additional skill. And both of the students which I have worked on, they could very well explain their research paper, and
Mm,
that was the whole direction of the interview. So that
mm,
really helped them to get the job, first of all. On
mm,
the research side,
mm,
again, since we it, it see, since we are doing research, we want to go into a PhD. So
mm,
what happens is a PhD, there are a lot of applicants in India
mm,
and then abroad as well.
mm,
So if you want to apply for abroad,
mm,
it's there is a lot of competition. So if
mm,
you are able to publish during your masters, I have known some of the students who have published 4 papers during their masters,
mm,
3 to 4 papers, and it
mm,
helps them quite a lot.
mm,
The journey where a paper starts, that is something, if you say, I can talk about a little bit
mm.
more.
Actually, this research work is really very helpful, as you said, Gurpreet, especially for those campus placements which are related to R&D, core
Right.
domain R&D jobs. MNCs, like General Electrical, Airbus, Boeing, these kind of companies, they give very high preference to if some student is really having good research publications. Not only that, even to join the prestigious, organization nowadays, like Research Organization of India, like ISRO or BARC or DRDO or HAL. So majority of master's students, they go for interviews, and during the interview, obviously if you mention about the research paper, as you rightly said, the interview and goes in that direction, and that is your domain of your strength, so you justify your effort and work in that.
And another example I would like to give, sir.
Mm,
Now I'm working with one of the master students. I was working with him in India. Now currently I'm working along with him on a publication.
mm,
So I always, told him about the importance of a publication, and he kept on working on that. He's now written that paper.
mm,
So he was working on thermal management of batteries. So
mm,
now he has got job into TVS, who
mm,
is, will be exploring into electrical vehicles market of
mm,
scooters. So why again during his interview he could mention that I have done this particular work and I'm planning to write a paper on this. So that really helps actually. All
That's
the time.
true. That's true. Okay, now coming to PhD part, Gurpreet, you have done your doctorate PhD, and when you are in position to publish the paper, it is almost 2 3 years, 3 years, and then you need to publish a paper, and then you that may get delayed. Your entire work may get delayed because you publish the paper only once your work is done, complete, and the work is complete after a couple of years, and then you have to wait for publishing your paper. So sometimes there's a delay in PhD. So already quite arduous journey, PhD already long duration program. So how do you see this entire problem and this issue?
There are again, sir. Generally, for if I give my personal example, I was not able to publish for 3 years, but after that, again, as you rightly said, you need to have some work in your hand. So that you can produce it in the form of publication. So there are two things, sir. In generally, we do two. First of all, go with the literature survey, and second, then is going into publishing a paper. So let's say your work is getting delayed. There are a lot of things in that as well. But at the same time, you should not leave, reading about your own research particular area, because it's not only the paper that you are working on or the experimental or the numerical studies that you're doing that you'll convert into a paper, but it's always the review as well. So parallelly, if you could do a review of your own studies and bind them into some article or something, that is another thing that can be done. But yeah, one thing is very clear, that you need to have some work in your hand in your to publish a paper. And in this as well, sometimes what happens is students don't go to their professor that I have done this particular work, let's convert this into a publication, because supervisors are generally busy and they are having other students as well. So you as a PhD student, you need to take that push inside you and go to your supervisor that whether this work can be published, and you keep interacting with them. So if you push them, they will push you back. Ultimately it will help both of them, even the student and the professor, because they also have their research profiles and student also want to develop their research profiles.
Okay, now Gurpreet, a very relevant question here. When we talk about publishing the paper, it should not be quantity, it should be the quality. It is not that I have 5 paper or 10 paper, that is not a thing. So quality is assessed by a factor which is called impact factor. So how important is impact factor for publishing, maybe at BTech level or MTech level? And do we bother about quality journals for graduation? Like say there's some BTech guy and he's done good work in project and he wants to publish it now. So how much he should bother about the impact factor and all for getting good career opportunities? And what professors see normally? Do they see quantity, plethora of papers with you, or do they see the quality work with you?
Sir, actually there is I'll be very frank on this, there is a mix and balance of both actually.
Okay.
So a professor who is looking for a student is also a reviewer. So that means he is also involved with reviewing articles continuously, and he is a part of some particular journal, and he always has the invitation of reviewing articles, right? So what happens is like actually nowadays the competition is such that both quantity and quality, both of them matter actually. It's not that we can only restrict ourselves to quality, but the quantity of work as well. But generally it's not that with the less quantity you cannot produce a good quality paper. So this is what I want to focus on. So writing a paper is it's a very articulate way of doing it, and I was generally told that it's an art. Writing a paper is not an art, and it's not always that you need to have very out of the box work and something you have done a breakthrough or something. It's not always required. A simple code can produce a paper, and a set of experiments can produce a paper. So it's just that you need to be very articulate while writing, because this reviewers and the editors, they are very busy people, right? They have tons of paper coming on their table every day. People are trying to push their papers and going to them with their request every day that this is my paper. So editors are busy. So what they will initially say whether it fits the general the format of their own particular journal, and if there is a particular guide for authors for all of the journals. So if it fits that, it passes that stage. Next comes the reviewer stage. That is the most important stage. So in general, reviewers are also from different backgrounds. It's not that I haven't reviewed any paper from some other background. Recently, I was reviewing a paper which was into, thermal insulation in space. So that is something which I have never done. But as a reviewer, I was always interested to do that because it will help me gain something new. But at the same time, I need to review that article, with whatever good criticism I can give to that. So in that case, basically, you always try to think from reviewer point of view. They have different fields and different papers are coming to them. So it's not that they are always looking for out of the box work. If the work is well organized, if you are able to shape it in a way, first presenting the introduction, then presenting in a beautiful way where you are leading in this way, and finally presenting good methodology and good results, that is enough. It's sometimes good works is even the basic and a well articulated work written well. It publishes even in good impact factor journals, like with the impact factor of 7, 8, 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now, Gurpreet, the one of the main reason, even if students have done good work, good project work or something, good research work, when it comes to writing a paper, publishing a paper, since you have never done that activity before, and as you know, human mentality, if you have not done something earlier, you always fear it. You have skepticism that you may or may not do it properly. So you never do it unless until it is, compulsory for you to do it, like PhD. So in MTech or BTech, you do not have such compulsion. So normally what I've seen is very less students tend to publish their work. Now, one of the reasons they have not done it. So I want to ask you a very straight question: how difficult it is to publish a paper?
Sir, I will simply tell you, publishing a paper is not a very tough job. I can directly say it, because it's just the initial fear of the students. You are absolutely right that they are not able to publish. And again, I will reiterate that if the students are approaching their professors at BTech and MTech level to publish, the professors will be more than happy to do that.
Okay.
So even they will help the students actually.
Yes.
So why the fear comes is like the student thinks they have to do something new, assuming that they have good results during their project. So my only suggestion in this would be, whatever report or whatever project submission they are doing, they do it in such a way to follow a journal publication online. And if they are able to do that, they can convert it into a paper right away. So it's just that fear of initiation of the work. And if the student is concerned about his career, he will naturally he can try that thing, and he can prepare his report in such a way that it is well articulated. We all know that a report goes up to, let's say, BTech project report goes up to 50 to 60 pages.
Yes.
And generally a research article, if you see, it is if I tell you in my own language, so it is something like 30 to 40 pages in 1.5 line spacing and 12 font. So if they want to convert it into a paper, it's quite easy for them actually.
Yes. So the very project report which they have produced, if they write it in a particular manner, which is requirement of the journal, so then they can publish it. Yes. Now, Gurpreet, let me ask you a question which was asked to me by one of the students. Who project in BTech or something is done normally in groups, 3 students doing work on a same project, and they produce the same report with their names on that, along with the professor and all. So if a group of 3 students want to publish a paper, and obviously under the guidance and mentorship of the professor, so will the credit per paper keep on decreasing, 1/3, 1/4? That was the very raw question asked by the student. So
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if I tell you in direct terms, there is something called as first author, there is something called as corresponding author, and there are the others are the second authors midway. So there is nothing called as a third or a fourth author.
Okay.
So this has to be very clear. Okay. So the thing is, even when we are applying for jobs, if we are a first author, we have certain fixed number of points. If we are second author, it does not matter where in the line we are. We get fixed number of, let's say, 10% of those total chunk of points. But if we are the first author, we'll get 60% of this chunk. So second author means they can be anywhere. So let's say if there are 3 students, obviously they will be competitive amongst each other and with the other community as well. So my suggestion would be, let's say they have a supervisor or a professor, and if they are able to sort out which of the students can be the first author, that's great. If that is not the case, then all the 3 can be the second authors, and it's nothing like whose name comes first, whose name comes second. So all 3 can be in the second author list. So there is either a first author, a corresponding author. After that, everything is a second author. There is nothing called as a third author or a fourth author.
Okay, so all are can be in the second author slot.
All can be in the list. Yeah.
So Gurpreet, why professor should be first author? Why not professor second author and student first author?
Again, generally, sir, in PhD, this is how it goes actually, because the work or the project is, in a way, the research facility, everything you are given by your supervisors. So again, there is no fixed rule for this. In my own institute, there are a lot. And it's nothing good or bad about it actually. If you ask me, it's not that if a professor is the first author and it's good or bad. Generally, professors are corresponding authors generally, because they are the one who will communicate your paper. But there are examples where even they ask their student that you be the corresponding and the first author, I can be the second author. So there is no good or bad about this. There is a very this will go into a very vast discussion. But yeah, in some places the students, because it's just corresponding author means the one who is corresponding with the journal team. So we generally misjudge it as somebody who is owning the paper.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So anybody could be that.
Okay.
So if the professor is a corresponding author, because he has been in that research field and for long, and he has that impact, and if he is submitting, that is not at all a problem. So at such a benign stage, students should not look for these kind of things, like I have done this work, I have done this work, or I should be the first author, I should be this much. So nothing like that. So even I've seen some of the PhD students who are fighting on these things, like this is the case and my supervisor is not letting me this and that.
Okay. So they should not bother about this.
Should not be bothered actually.
Okay. Okay. Now, Gurpreet, we have come to almost an end of this wonderful session, which was focused more on relevance of research paper for all category of students like graduate, undergraduate, and doctorate. So I want to request you and ask you, like, how can we help students in a very meticulous way? Because as you know, in YourPedia, we try to actually provide the solution to some of the issues which we raise. Now, the issue we have raised is about the research paper, relevance of research paper, and how we can help students to do that. So how can we help students stepwise, like undergrads who are doing BTech project, and how they can approach and how they can write. And when we further go, I want that whatever we publish or whatever videos we upload on YouTube or something, they should be really helpful for students who are actually in the process of writing or publishing their paper. So how can we do that?
Yes, sir. In this, we can say that we know that the students have diverse projects. They are from diverse fields, right? But generally, writing a paper, it all comes on the in the same line. The way is almost similar all the time. You have all the phases in which you write a paper. So any of the students who are doing good work and have produced some results at their bachelor's level, master's level, and even in the PhD level. So what we can do is we can always help them while writing the paper in a way to guide them. Obviously, it's going to be their work and it's their effort that needs to come in. But we can always help them in whichever way. Once they have written it or once they have a draft, we can help them to make it in a proper shape, so that based on our basic knowledge of how a paper looks like, so we can help them at every stage in trying to get through and write a paper. And even during the time of submission, Obviously, we cannot do that. They are in their own research group or they have to do that. But it's like keep trying. It's not that once it is rejected, we have faced a lot of rejections, but that does not mean that, again, I told you that reviewers are from different backgrounds and different, so a rejection does not mean that your work is not good. So you keep trying. So we even encourage and motivate student at each and every stage to keep trying.
Okay, so what I suggest, Gurpreet, is like we make some sequel of videos of this particular interactive video, in which we take one particular theme, and we talk about that, like BTech project and how that can be converted into a research paper. What kind of journals we should target? What do we mean by rejection, and what after rejections? So these kind of themes will pick it up, Gurpreet, and we proceed forward with that. I hope it is okay with you.
Yes, right, sir. We need to help students in that, and that's very important to publish.
Okay. So thanks a lot, Gurpreet, for your time once again. And it was a wonderful session. I'm very sure students who will listen to this, they will get a lot of benefit from this, and it will be helpful for them to go for writing some kind of research papers and at least think in that direction. Thanks a lot, Gurpreet.
Thank you, sir.